Heroes rise, heroes fall. I see them on the front line, standing tall. They're risking life and limb to answer the call. But what they fighting for? Don't know, don't care. Just along for the ride, but everyone must in. I'ma make sure I'm gonna win inside.
All right, welcome back to the podcast.
Woo!
Yeah, we're here with the Dungeon Dads. They have just gotten out of a sticky situation, and they have an even stickier situation sitting in front of them. And so I would love it if, Abel, could you give us a quick recap?
Okay, you want me to do it in character?
Sure.
I knew you were going to call on me, so I prepared this recap in advance.
Okay,
right,
good.
Hold on. I got to get in my... Okay.
Yeah.
We crossed a puddle and fought a snake.
The end.
That's it.
You're a real shit.
I do recall doing quite a bit more than just crossing a puddle. We clearly made some bad decisions about how to get across said puddle.
It took a lot longer than I thought. Oh my goodness.
We forgot to look at how deep the puddle might be before we decided we had to use a boat.
When you really look at it, though, is there any more to say?
I don't know if fought a snake is really the right term, more like ran screaming.
Well, I mean...
You floated screaming.
Yeah, that's right. You used your voice to propel yourself across the puddle.
I recall wolves. I recall snakes. Water. I didn't want to have it on me. I had to fly. It was done.
Well, I mean, it was basically Epiphany Forest, right? And so you guys, beforehand, I had given Tim, oh my God, Tim, Filnir. My goodness, what's wrong with me? I had given Filnir a sort of history of Gnome's Gap beforehand, so he could read some of the lore of it, and he was really good at convincing you guys not to kill those wolves, which would have been very detrimental to your health, and also not taking a long rest in there, which I thought was really good. Both of those things would have been very, very bad. So good work on that, Filnir.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I would like to think about this like you guys have just crossed this puddle, as Abel says, and the snake is dead, and the wolves are gone. You don't hear them, and when we left off, you kind of look back, and Abel, you didn't get your full epiphany when you were doing the short rest by the hut because you got so what's that?
It was just like a half-epiphany.
A half-epiphany, yeah. The other two had a little bit more insight into parts of their history or parts of their psyche,
which we have yet to hear about.
We'll hear about it soon enough. But for you, it's really just when you get out of this place, you have a feeling that is dreadfully similar to the feeling that you had when you felt closest to Tempest, which was the moment that you decided to turn away from him. And when you sort of look back, you see a sort of sheen coming off of the other side of the pond, and you see that the mountains just sort of go up in almost a palisade wall in a very steep climb that, Gnome's Gap is not there anymore. Like it's illusion or it's some other stuff. And you have the sense that it might well be divine, that this Gnome's Gap, not even like from a divine, but actually like you were very close to a god. Maybe even on a god or in a god or something along these lines. Very, very close.
I'd prefer to be on a god
than in a god. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
In a god of
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you didn't have the full insight in there because of various reasons. Low saving throw rolls, chief among them. But I'm not sure how you feel about this. The last time you were that close to divinity, you were very put off by it.
I just look back and say quietly to myself, God bless, but God damn.
So you are now sitting on the edge of this swamp and mountain range, and you are in Adaran territory. You're in the middle of a forest still, and you if you look straight west, you can see that there's a clearing there that that is likely the fastest route to Lakeshire. And you're not far from a path that leads south into the forest. I want to remind you all just really quickly that you're all wearing Hark gear, and that do with that what you will. And you have already encountered one sort of woodland druid who was able to cast something that was very detrimental to you, wearing your super heavy armor as well. So I'm not saying anything.
Listen, if you think you're gonna get me to ditch my splint mail because we might get heat metal on us again,
I have another thing coming.
So I have a question. I have a lot of questions, but first question being, the armor is identifiable as Hark armor. Is that because of insignias on it, or is it something about the way the armor is actually made or fits, or whatever?
It's pretty standard splint mail that you're wearing. It has many of the sort of splinted pieces have red on it. It looks like it had once been a very well ornamented red armor that has been chipped away, slightly rusted. It still works perfectly fine. It's about like Ioric Burnison's homemade armor in the Arctic. If you're a fan of his dark materials, but it is not a pretty set of armor. But if you inspect it pretty closely, you will be able to tell that it is a.
Well, I mean, my question is, what about it is identifiable?
Just that it's red. That's really the only thing. Okay. And you're in a
like blood.
Well, sure, maybe. But you're also in a part of you're close to the front, so people wearing heavy armor are likely in an army. And right. People wearing heavy armor that is blue are likely in the Adaran army, and people that are wearing heavy armor that is red are likely in the Hark army. I'm not going to tell you what to do about it. I'm serious. I probably wouldn't take it off if I were you.
You did. I'm really not going to tell you what to do. Because here's the other thing, and this may just be sort of a side conversation anyway. Like, I have the mending spell, and like if you break something and then mend it, does it restore it? Does it have to restore it to its exact original condition? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Tell me what does it say?
Let me see. The spell repairs a single break or tear in an object you touch, such as a broken chain link, 2 halves of broken key, a torn cloak, or a leaking wineskin. As long as the break or tear is no longer than 1 foot in any dimension, you mend it, leaving no trace of form or damage.
Yeah, that's not going to do. That's not going to do anything.
Okay.
It's not going to make it super red.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking of something a little outside the bounds of what that is. Like, if it was really broken and then you use the spell to kind of put it back together, do you have to put it back together in its exact original shape? But long story short, it sounds like it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Okay. So fellas,
and Filner's also wearing medium armor. You have on plate, a breastplate. Is that right?
I have on. Let me get some of that sheet of my character page. I think I have half plate on. Wait, no. Yeah,
I
half
think you
plate.
said
So
half
it's
plate.
also that also looks very. It's identifiable as Hark.
Listen, before we go any further,
Is it painted red or
It's painted. Yeah.
before we go any further, I'd like to remind
alright.
the two of you that you are wearing hawk colors. Before we go any further,
however did that pop into your head?
I just noticed it. We are going to Lakeshire. We're going to the enemy, and I am beginning to think that things need to change. One is that you are wearing hawk colors, and I may need to change my name because they know of my family lineage in that city.
You got your wits back about you pretty quick after that snake.
We got rid of it. The forest began to grow out of the ground and turned into something else. There are a lot of weird things happening. I want to get the fuck out of here. So yes, my wits are back. Can we figure out what we're going to do so that we can move?
Well, first off, you would expect that I'm maybe a halfway decent woodsman after living as a hermit for 20 years or so, but I got to tell you, boys, I'm just as lost in these woods as you are. I can't say I ever put the effort into my woodcraft that maybe I should have. It always seemed like there'd be a good time to do it. I think Waverly's going to be looking for us, and there's not a whole lot we can do to. I mean, we're a pretty identifiable group, the three of us. The best we can do is disguise ourselves just enough that anyone who's not looking for us doesn't have their attention aroused.
Right. Well, I suppose button your cloaks for now. I do know 2 different ways to get to Lakeshire from here. If I have my bearings correct, if I know where I am, I think I do. We can go straight.
Do you have your bearings correct?
I believe I know where we are. Yes. We can either go straight across the open meadow, or there's a trail that goes through the forest. It's a little bit longer, but it will take us there under the cover of some forest for much more distance to get us much closer before we're out in the open.
Cover's good.
I tend to agree.
Do you think it's dangerous?
Well, what ain't dangerous at this point?
I mean, we just ran into a gigantic snake sitting in a puddle
Well,
somehow.
my thoughts precisely. And if I'm going to go too much farther, I am going to need some sleep.
Now,
I am spent.
I don't mean to boast, but we did handle that snake without any trouble.
You handled that snake without any trouble.
Yes, I mean,
I
both of us.
I got my ass kicked.
Fair enough. I suppose I could eat.
It looked
Abel.
like more of a squeeze from where I was standing. Snakes don't really have kicking. Isn't their strong suit?
You're right. That snake did get quite fresh with me. Sort of reminded you of your old relationship with Tempest, eh, Abel?
But I will say that snake really squeezed your ass.
Right. Got me good. I can't lie to you. Can't deny that. Will we be able to get a rest?
Abel, if you're amenable to camp, we should probably make our way into the cover of the forest a little bit and set up within the confines of the trees.
Okay. Anybody know how to make a fire?
Oh, sure. That's no problem. And
I believe Jonas has that covered.
I pick up some leaves and immediately turn them into fire.
Boy, you would have been handy to have around up on that mountain. I never really got that. I rubbed the 2 sticks together for a real long time. I never quite got the trick of it.
Well, that's all right. We all have our skills. Fire is definitely mine.
Right, are the leaves burning his hand at this point?
No. You know what? He created a pocket around his hand. He created a pocket around
Before the leaves went up, I just did a sphere with my hands and then fire. No.
Yeah. So are you guys
All
are
right,
going to set
so
up camp then?
We're
yeah?
going to do a long rest then.
Let's.
Let's set up camp.
I prefer the answer yes,
John.
Sure, done.
Yeah. Yes. You're going to get a
Long
long
rest is over,
let's
right?
Why not
get
a
let's get survival and also a stealth check. I assume you want to like make sure that people don't.
Yeah, we build
that
some
we're hidden.
rocks
that
up
you're
around
kind
the
of
side
hidden.
of the fire, so it's not easy to see. Find the woods that don't smoke quite so much.
All right. So tell me what you got.
I got a 7 survival and a 15 stealth.
Oh man, that's unexpected.
Yeah.
Let's see, my
I got
stealth.
8 survival and 11 stealth.
My stealth is at disadvantage.
Okay, all right.
So I will roll 2.
Oh,
No, not for this. Not for
Okay.
this. Not for this, you guys. Yeah, you
Oh,
can't
because
sleep
this
with your
isn't
armor
us.
on, fellas.
Fuck yes, I can.
Like you're not going to have disadvantage
So,
while you're doing this.
13 on my stealth, and then my survival. Call it a 4. Wham bam.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Gee.
So you all die. So yeah, Abel, you kind of look at your camp. You're like, it's hard to see, but it's not super comfortable. So you're gonna get your long rest, but what I want you to do is you're gonna be able to roll a maximum of 2 hit dice to get hit points back for your long rest.
So we're not getting our are we getting our hit
That's what
dice
you
back?
normally would on a long rest.
Yeah, you're getting your hit
long
dice
rest?
back.
Okay.
But you can only to get your to get your hit points up, you're only going to get 2 hit dice.
On a long
I have
rest, you
to
don't
s-
usually use your hit dice.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, you just
Well, that's
use
a short
we
rest,
just get our hit points back to maximum.
You're going to get all your maximum hit points back.
That's what happens on a
But
long
what
rest.
All right.
what he's saying is I only get 2 hit dice worth of hit points.
That's what
back,
you're saying.
Good. Let's
which
stop
I'm
arguing.
fine with. Yes, I'm fine with.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's
all
what you're
right.
going to get.
All right.
I'm fine with it. Do I get all my spell slots back?
You get all your spell slots back.
Okay.
And if you want to roll
Okay,
hit
good.
dice to bring your
No.
hit points up, then you can.
No, because I was at full hit points.
Oh,
so-
okay. You don't even care.
I meant to say yes, sir, Mr. DM, sir.
There you go. Come on
Yeah,
now.
Yeah. Sorry.
And so let's start the day off at 8 a.m. Let's say the sun is up. You eat some of your rations, some of your Hark issued rations.
Filnir, you got a pretty high stealth survival roll there. Can I have some of your berries?
I don't know that you want a but sure, fine, yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Gentlemen, if you've gotten yourself ready
Wait.
to walk.
As the whiz says, shall we ease on down the road? And by the whiz, I mean Jonas here.
Yes. Let us ease on down the road.
Well, all right. Yeah, it's kind of
Hey, make sure you carry nothing that might be a load, gentlemen.
As we have said many times on this podcast, the quality of our humor is matched only by the timeliness of our references.
So give me a description of so you decide to go south, right? You're going to go around the south.
yeah, we're going to take the circuitous
path.
route through the forest with some cover.
Give you a description of what happens? Sure.
Well,
It's a real easy stroll. Nothing bad happens. I'd say
There's
temperatures
Gold
moderate,
coins littered along the
mid-70s.
trail somehow that we just keep picking up.
okay. Are you walking in formation? Are you walking on the path? Tell me how you're going. Are you trying to do it stealthily? Are you just gonna trudge through the path? I mean, I just tell me what you're up to. Paint me a word picture of your
Guys,
troop.
as much as I hate to say it, I think we need to ditch these heart colors for the time being. Is it possible to carry my armor in my pack? Or does it have to be abandoned?
It's splint mail. That seems big.
I mean, I'm a strong guy.
I mean, You can carry it. I mean, you can carry it. Sure.
Ionis, do you not
Sure.
have...
Okay.
Clearly, you've changed your own clothes multiple times through magical means. Do you not have the ability to alter the look of our clothes as well, or is that too much?
I could alter the way we look if you stood absolutely still.
But once we start walking, we screw the pooch.
Once you start walking, things change fast.
I see.
I also have the ability to make one of you invisible.
I see.
Could you clean or soil?
That
you could
is
soil
a
them.
possibility. I could soil them actually.
Listen, we're not that far from the river yet, so why don't we just muddy them up? And honestly, if we need a cover story, we found some... Either we are defectors ourselves, which would not be unheard of, or we came upon some Hawk soldiers and we killed them and we took their armor because it was much nicer than what we had.
Listen, I'll say at this point, yeah, mud's probably a good idea. We don't look like a group of hunters out for like we're not believable as anything except deserting soldiers, unfortunately. I can't think of a single other cover story that would be... I mean, we could say we're mercenaries on a scouting patrol.
I could say that you two were my bodyguards leading me into the city. The only problem is I don't know if I should show my nobility.
Does that mean take your pants off?
Fjolnir, what is it with you and pants?
Sorry,
I'm leaving them on.
Good. Please do.
That spear tip's nothing but a good influence on that one. You're the new envoy from Adair to Lakeshire. We're your bodyguards.
That could work. From Adair.
I mean, from Monterre.
From Monterre. What is that nonsense you've been calling me? Jonas. Silverwind. What have you been calling me?
Jonas, that's your name, Jonas Silverwind.
Whatever you say. I'll go in as Jonas Silverwind.
Are you
of the Monterre Silverwinds?
Except from my perspective, it sounds like Jonas Silverwind is going undercover as Jonas Silverwind.
And we'll make it work from there. But that could possibly work. You two are my bodyguards. We are coming in from Monterre to see how things are going in Adair.
Good enough, and then we'll improv from there. We're good at that.
All right.
Yeah, you guys are great at that. All right.
It always works out in the end.
So you're soiling your clothes, and
Not mine.
and you're heading down the south road. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That sounds right.
And your passive perception, everyone's passive perception is a 10, yeah?
15 for me.
Oh, geez.
13.
Mine's a
Okay.
10.
Okay. So, Abel, you hear it first. You hear the sound of something calling out in Dwarvish, which you speak. Charlatan, interloper, you old so-and-so, you're a villain, you're a tramp. How dare you plant another bean? And you are sort of approaching a clearing, and you hear this coming from inside the clearing. And the other two have not heard it yet.
And I say, fellas, let's go back the other way.
What's happening?
But the other way is through the open meadow.
There's an angry dwarf in that clearing up there. Not sure what he's talking about, but
That
Well, he
scares
sure
me.
sounds angry. Can we skirt the clearing?
I don't see why we couldn't work our way around it.
Okay.
That beats
We
walking
work
through
our
the
way
meadow.
around the
Okay.
clearing.
So when you get to the edge of the clearing to work your way around it, you see what looks like almost a battlefield. And it's black and it's singed earth just throughout. There's a smoldering tree trunk that has like tipped over, and it looks like there are legs and possibly a charred face on the trunk of the tree that is smoldering on the
Goddamn.
ground. And you see that there is the only way I can describe this is it looks like a statue that is now also standing very near the dead tree, and you see that the statue is yelling, is the one speaking Dwarvish and yelling at a very small gnomish looking man who is shaking his head and sweating and looks like he's just been through a lot of shit. And
Is it a halfling
It's
or
a
is it a
gnome.
gnome?
it's a gnome.
Okay.
And you notice, Filnir, that he does not look like the gnomes that you have seen going to Lakeshire. His skin is very dark, and he is he's wearing these glasses that are made of the green stone that is all through Lakeshire that is almost impossible to see through. And he's wearing sort of spectacles that are made of that stuff. And you see him sort of digging in the ground, and he's doing his best clearly to ignore this statue. And he pats down on the ground where he was digging, and he stands back. Sorry, 1 second. and you see this giant geyser sprout up through from where he had just been digging, and he looks at it, and he at first he backs up away from it, and then he sort of edges closer, and he puts his finger in this geyser, and you can see that it's sort of foamy and dark, and he puts it to his mouth, and he screams out, "Beer! Beer from a bean! The world is great and absurd! Beer from a bean!"
Fellas, we got enough problems already. Keep walking. I know beer from a bean sounds like a premise that is hard to ignore, but we got problems enough. Just put your head down, keep your eyes forward, just keep walking.
And then you hear, "Just keep walking. Just keep your head down and keep walking. I hear your thoughts, priest." He sort of looks around. He can't see you. He's looking around.
And then I go, guys, keep walking. I'm a dumb statue who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Your Highness, I hear your thoughts as well. Who is Schnobik, Your Highness? Who is Schnobik, Your Highness? Oh, an accursed paradhel?
What?
No, not cursed. Enslaved, half-elf? Where are you?
All right, gentlemen, our cover seems to be blown. I think we need to deal with this before.
No, Jonas.
Before we
Is
before
the
we
gnome
walk
responding
in.
to this at all?
Sticks and stones,
Jonas!
Sticks and
He knows.
stones.
This person knows who we are. He knows who we are. He's got to report it to someone.
Statue. Calm down. Does the gnome seem to be reacting to anything
He is
the statue's saying,
ignoring
or
the
is
statue.
giving
He is
us this
ignoring the statue.
telepathically?
The statue is continuously yelling at him. He is sounding more and more like if Paraso got drunk and just went on a rampage of curses. But unless you speak Dwarvish, you don't understand what he's saying. Saying things about the size of his penis and the hair on his foot, which is a particularly bad thing to say to a gnome because they're normally completely clean shaven on the top of their foot, unlike halflings. So it's
So when he's so just,
That's
Tom, just a
a
sec.
lore you're adding to the 5e there.
So when he was speaking to Jonas, he was still speaking Dwarvish.
He was speaking common then. And you
But I do speak
okay.
Dwarvish.
Oh, you can hear it. So you understand everything that the statue is yelling out.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Jonas, even this gnome isn't listening to this statue. We just keep walking.
Parrot hell. And I need you to give me Tim, I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be 12.
Okay. So you feel him. You know the spell detect thoughts, yes?
I have the Edgar's detect thoughts.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So you know what this is like. So you
Got your
feel
vision.
him moving into your brain space. Now you feel that he has sort of touched the edge of it, the way one would with the detect thoughts, and you feel him sort of barreling into your thoughts a little bit now.
Okay.
And he calls out. He says, "Oh, enslaved half elf, you could help me. You could help me very much. You have a pure heart, enslaved one. If you come to the clearing, I can make it well worth your while. I have a problem here with some seeds."
Just to be clear, we're still walking
Yes.
while this
Yes.
is all
Sure,
going
you're walking
on.
around the
We
edge of the
haven't
clearing.
stopped. We're still
Yeah.
walking. Okay.
How
But you do see Filnir sort of touching his head. You can tell he's not comfortable with what's going on right now.
Right. Okay. So I'm just refreshing my mind here on detect thoughts. So, I know that there's a way to contest detect thoughts with an intelligence check because you're aware of the probe. So,
Yep. So you can. I mean, if this was in combat, obviously,
right,
you
it would be my
use
action.
your-
But since we're
your
not
action.
in combat,
But you're not. Yeah, you can use your. You can do an intelligence
yeah,
check.
I'll do a contested intelligence check, and then we'll see whose turns out better. Let me get this. 13.
Okay, so you sort of push the gnome out of your headspace.
The gnome or the
He
statue?
says, "Oh, the gnome.
Oh, the gnome
The
is
gnome
the
is
one
the
reading
one
my
who
thoughts.
is-
So he can see
The
me.
gnome is the one. He detects your thoughts. Yes. Yeah.
So he sees us because that's one of the things.
He does.
Yeah.
Yes. He can see. He can see you. He can see you.
Gentlemen, the statue may be yelling, but the gnome is aware of our presence. He just tried to read my thoughts, and I think I was able to rebuff him. However, again, he is aware of us, so I don't know if we need to.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hearing his thoughts too. Let's just deal with this before it gets. Who knows who he could report to?
I mean,
Kunkel. You hear him calling Kunkel.
that's the gnome.
You hear him saying that. Yes.
I'm just making sure I know what's the statue and I know what's the gnome. Sorry.
Yeah.
Abel, there are 3 of us, and there seems to be 1 gnome. The odds seem to be in our favor. The statue will yell, but it doesn't.
Why? Just keep walking, guys.
Well,
Oh, you know what? Forget it. And I just walk out and go to look at the
Jonas, sir, I cannot. I cannot
that-
recommend this.
That boy cannot resist a curiosity, I tell you what. Talking statues, getting him off the path.
It's almost as one of its flaws.
So when Jonas steps out of the clearing, Jonas, you see a bat that's sort of flapping around thing, and the bat comes over and like lands on your shoulder, and the gnome calls out, says, "Kunkel, you've brought me one, Kunkel. Bring him here, Kunkel." And the bat sort of gets up and like flips around your face a little bit, and then flies back over to the gnome, and the gnome starts to just, like, very slowly walk toward you. You guys are about 50 feet away from each other, and he says, "Hello, Your Highness. Hello, Your Highness. Welcome. I see you have only brought yourself, and your friends are I don't know. What are they doing over there? Hello, fellows.
Not coming in. That is what we are doing over here.
Do not worry about them. What is
I
your
think there's
business
a lot to unpack here.
Kunkel, go see what these boys are doing over there. And the bat sort of like flies.
Kunkel, don't you get
overhead.
near me. Kunkel, back. Kunkel, back, I say. Away, Kunkel.
And he's
Kunkel,
sort of
away.
just flying around about 20 feet ahead above you guys both. And this
I'm going to
guy,
throw a
he reaches
spear
out
at
his...
that Kunkel.
Please don't throw a spear at my Kunkel. It will take me an hour to bring him back. Please don't do that. Poor Kunkel has died 3 times in this field. Please don't kill Kunkel again.
You best get that Kunkel out of my face.
Kunkel, come. Kunkel, come.
Kunkel, go.
So Kunkel flies back over, and the gnome sort of walks very wearily to you, Ionis, and he holds out his hand. He says, "The name is Nimrod Tolkien. This is Kunkel, my bat. You met him. I see that you are a practitioner of the arcane arts as well, sir. Welcome."
Thank you. What is it that
Yes.
you want? What are you doing here?
Well,
Don't trade nothing for spells, Jonas.
so when you get up close to him, you see a couple of interesting things about him. First of all, his skin is very dark. So you are pretty sure that he is a deep gnome that lives underground normally.
Okay.
And you know deep gnomes to be, or just in stories that you've heard, to be good. And they tend to be working against the sort of the normal underground forces. And you see that he's got like a monkey tail, and so does Kunkel. Like the bat has a monkeyish tail, and he's also got a tiny pointer finger that is like even smaller than yours. and as he's speaking to you, and when he shakes your hand, he says, "My name is Nimrod Tolkien," and you see that his tongue is actually split in half as he's speaking. It's sort of like serpentine, but it kind of looks like someone just like clipped it with a pair of scissors. And
That's
it has
always a great sign.
it is sort of
for
healed.
someone's trustworthiness.
It's sort of healed up. And he says, "Yes, I'm in quite a pickle here. I've been having fights here. You see, let me introduce myself first. Nimrod Tolkien. I am Robert Hark, the Worthies musician, and also magician. And I retired from the army 37 years ago before his pretender son took over. And I am now trying to make things right that I wronged when I was working for him. My whole family has been cursed, and I understand that there's a way to break the curse by planting these beans and dealing with the outcome of the beans. And so far, I have planted 6 of the beans, and I am still alive. So there is that. That is a good thing, yes?
Yes, it's a very good thing. Rewind a bit.
Yes.
What wrongs are you talking about?
It was war. There were villages. Then there were no more villagers in the village, and I may have been a part of that. And one village hag told me, yelled out, she found out my name somehow. She says, "Nimrod Tolkien," and she held her fist up, and she said, "Nimrod Tolkien, you and all your progeny are doomed to death at the hands of my dead son." And I believed her, and so I am hunting for her dead son, who is supposed to come back to life in 100 years and kill all my progeny.
Oh, that sounds like a terrible problem.
Sure.
All right. Well, yes, you seem to have a wonderful problem, and it seems like something that you have well in hand. What do you need help with?
Well, I'm worried I'm going to die. And what I would really like for you to do, and he
Join the club, dude.
he pulls out a bag and he opens them up and he shows you, and it's diamonds. And he says, I have these components here, and what I would like for you to do is, if I happen to pass away within 1 minute of me passing, I would like for you to hold these diamonds on my chest and feed me this potion, and I'll be right as rain. This is all that I ask.
Can I do an Arcana check on the potion?
Sure, yeah.
Are we within earshot of this? I know we didn't walk forward, but I assume he's speaking loud enough for everybody.
Yeah, you can hear him.
That'll be
in fact, Nimrod is like speaking as loudly as possible so that you can hear him. What'd you get on your Arcana?
24 Arcana.
Ooh. Okay, yes. This is a potion of revivify. And you can see immediately that it does not require the diamond component the way it would if a priest was casting revivify.
Okay.
The potion is enough.
Yes, sure. Let me hold those diamonds for you.
Okay, but
if I may, how long do you expect to be planting beans? How many more beans do you have? You said you've planted 6, and you've been not involved for 37 years?
Well, do you want to know? I mean, so I bought the beans. I bought the beans from a great sorcerer who told me that one of these beans might show me a pathway to a great mummy lord who will become the undead that kills my progeny. And so I had 11, and I have 5 left now.
I see.
Many are quite harmless, actually.
We will be finished planting tomorrow.
Who was that? Paraso? That did not sound like you.
Can I do an inside check on him as well?
Sure.
It's a 12.
Seems off his rocker, but he seems like he means what he says.
So, Nimrod, how long exactly are you asking Jonas and us to stay here with you while you plant these beans?
Well, the beer geyser took all of 10 seconds. I have 5 more beans. The treant that I killed over there, that took a bit longer, if I'm being honest with you. I had to run away from him. And then I had to continuously send poor Kunkel to his death to shock him and burn him to a crisp.
Boy, you wizards are more alike than different, aren't you? You wouldn't know it to look at you. Underneath, you're all the
Priest,
same.
I thank you for those kind words. And I do like being part of a class of humans that are a cut above. Thank you very much.
Well said, sir.
That's one way to put it.
Thank you, sir.
Why did you have to kill a treant?
It grew from a bean.
Oh.
Ooh.
You see, the sorcerer told me that if I did not partake of every bean, that I might not find the bean that I need to find. So if an egg grows, I have to eat it. If a tree grows, I have to kill it. If a beer geyser forms, I have to drink it. It's all part of the deal, apparently.
How did you know you didn't have to eat the tree?
Yeah. To be perfectly honest with you, I would have tried. But when the tree grew, it immediately tried to hammer me down with one of its branches. And I figured, well, if it's me or you, then it better be you. Am I right? You look like the kind of man who's made that decision a number of times.
Well, sure, for me, but the jury's still out on you. Boy, I gotta tell you, it sure sounds convoluted.
Okay, sure.
So you would like us to watch you plant beans and what?
Stand by the side, and if I go down, just bring me back up.
Did I miss what we get out of this?
Oh, sorry, this should not be any quid pro quo. I'm just a poor man in the forest looking for help from a few kind, friendly adventurers.
Listen, we got our own problems, and if we're going to help you out, we're going to need something a lot better than some squid froyo.
Well,
How about,
I don't know what that is.
How about this? We protect you. You do not die. We get these diamonds.
And then if I die?
Then we get these diamonds.
But you'll give me the potion and bring me back to life, yes?
We may have our talents.
No, I don't know if I like the sound of that. Half-elf, I've seen your heart. It's good. Would you bring me back?
Because we've been having our doubts about that lately. Let me tell you, I actually would appreciate some reassurance on that front.
It is a good, clean heart. He is ensnared by something. I have to tell you, I don't know what it is, but he is ensnared.
And when you said clean, that was metaphorical, right? You weren't talking about physically in good health.
What do you mean? I eat quite well. I exercise regularly.
You're a paragon of health, sir. A paragon of health.
Healthy as an ox. As regards to your question, frankly, I'm not sure why we're so interested in diamonds aside from their material value.
Well, now hold on a second.
In exchange for gold, but
don't trust that villain. Don't trust that villain. He's just gonna get you killed, just like he got me killed, boys.
But you did say your beans grew a treant before, so I assume if you had been surrounded by company, the treant would have also attacked said company.
I don't know how it works. I also had a blue campfire spring up. That was wonderful.
I will also say, if we've gotten to the point where we say, I don't see what value diamonds are, we may be overthinking things.
It's a pretty big bag of diamonds.
All right, I've come around. I've come around. Plant that bean. Let's rock and roll.
Okay.
By which I mean, let's roll this rock. Oh.
And if we die, the diamonds are of... what if one of us goes down first? I would have that potion used on one of us if needed. My two companions are more important to me than you are at this point in time.
I tell you what. The first man down uses the potion. The second man down,
All right, fellas, if you gotta die, die first.
Copy that.
Okay, so he digs a hole and he takes bean number 7 out of the bag.
I'm standing exactly 30 feet away.
Okay, and he drops it.
Mage armor on myself.
Okay, and he drops it in the hole, and
I will ready my rapier.
He covers it up. He pats it down, and he starts to pour water in it. And who wants to roll this? Somebody roll this. A D100, buddy.
A D100, okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
91.
Oh, shit.
Okay. All right. So the ground starts to shake. And,
oh, shit, this was a bad idea. Jonas, why'd I let you rope me into this?
And a little
I
bitty...
said keep walking. I said keep walking.
I'm sorry. Cannot help myself sometimes. Sorry.
But then you said, ooh, diamonds.
and the statue,
I'll die for diamonds.
the statue crumbles over the side. He says, "Oh, you're gonna all die! I can tell you're gonna all die! Fuck you! Fuck you!" And the statue sort of crumbles away, and then you see at first.
I thought he'd never shut up.
At first, it's only like a little foot, a little nut, like a foot of a nub of a stone, like point that sort of comes up from the ground, and it starts to get bigger and bigger. And you guys are starting to move him back. This thing is coming up out of the ground, and you can see it is a 4-sided pyramid that keeps like growing up out of the ground. It's about 10 by 10 on each side, and it keeps coming up, and now it's about 20 by 20 on each side, and you need to keep moving back, and it's uneven ground. It's not safe. And Nimrod Tolkien just starts jumping up and down with joy. He says, "Oh my goodness, we found the pyramid. Boys, you helped me find the pyramid." And it keeps coming up and coming up, and when it finally stops growing, it's about 80 feet tall, and the sides of the pyramid are 60 foot by 60 foot by 60 foot by 60 foot. And you see it has a large opening that is sort of giant stone doors. And Nimrod runs over to it, and he says, "This is it. This is it. I finally found him. You're going to die, die, die."
We'll be taking our diamonds and leaving now.
As soon as I get into this place, this mummy is going to burn. And he doesn't even look back at you. And in fact, he drops the bag of beans that were there and starts to like use a pry bar on this door, and it's not budging. And he immediately starts shooting. He shoots a fireball at the front of this door. He starts shooting all of his magic at this door, and he says, "Boys, thank you. I couldn't have done this without you." And he is ignoring you now and just concentrating entirely on this pyramid.
So I guess you won't be needing these beans then.
Take them. I'm done with them. This is all I needed. Thank you.
All right, I've got the diamond still. Let's back away.
All right, man.
Abel, are you picking up the beans?
Yeah, I pick up the beans.
All right, you have 4 beans left. 5 beans left. Sorry.
Okay, I'm adding that to my treasure list.
Should be 4. You have
4.
5 left, and you planted one,
It's
right?
4 beans. 4 beans left.
4 magic beans.
Yep.
Okay.
And
how much of these diamonds worth?
it's about 450 gold worth of diamonds. So it's considerably more than would be needed for the Revivify spell.
And we've got the potion.
And you have the potion.
Who has the potion?
Boom.
Jonas has the potion.
I have both. Yeah, the diamonds and the potion.
Does it feel a little unresolved if we leave while he's still trying to open this door?
What's the worst that could happen? The mummy kills him, and then there's a mummy walking in the forest. Okay, so what?
I do think our secrecy has been spoiled by this pyramid. It probably gathered some attention from the nearby town, yes? Wouldn't you say? It's 80 feet tall, approximately.
There are trees that are taller than
peeking
this.
out over the canopy. There are. Okay.
There are trees that are taller than it, but I mean, it was a legit
But not all of
earthquake.
them?
Not all of them. And it was a legit earthquake that you felt also.
Gentlemen, I do think we should make ourselves scarce, because someone will inevitably come out to investigate this.
Well, okay then.
Should we go the way we're going, or go the other way?
Back to the trail.
All right. So you guys had
We leave the gnome wizard blasting at the mysterious stone pyramid that we have helped raise, and we continue.
I mean, you could only have done that with a 91, 92, 93, 94. That was it. That's the only thing you could have done with that with. I am sad that you missed a hungry bullet, but I'm glad he got his pyramid.
Sam, that was an awesome roll.
That was amazing. Yeah. So you're back
I
on
do what I can.
You're back on the path.
Back on the path.
Okay. So you keep heading south, and you've gone about 2 miles now, about 2.5 miles now, and you can see that the animals are moving with you away from the pyramid. Whenever you do spot animals, they are all moving south away from that clearing. And you find yourself at another stream, and this one is very narrow. And let me tell you, it's not deep.
God damn it!
It's not deep. It's like you can hop across it. But what's interesting is that this stream it's coming from the meadow to your right, which is to the west. And toward Lakeshire, and it's moving into the mountain directly. But you see a pile of clothes that look like someone has neatly disrobed and put them up on the rocks on the edge of the stream, like they went for a swim. But it's hard to tell where they maybe would have gone swimming. And you don't hear anyone, and you don't see anyone, but you do see this like neatly folded pile of clothes.
Keep walking.
Do they look like female clothes?
Yes. They do look like female clothes. They do.
Jonas, I swear to God, the last one was real weird. It worked out all right. Just put your head down and keep walking.
Are you sure? It's these clothes, they look rather nice. Maybe
How large are these clothes? Are these like human-sized clothes, or do they look more like child-sized, halfling-sized clothes?
They look like halfling clothes. In fact, you recognize this is the sort of not noble Lakeshire style, but this is like artisan class. This is like the upper middle class.
You said they look clean.
They look clean. They're very clean.
Boy, that doesn't sound like halflings to me.
yeah. You or me either, but Abel, man, those halflings, right? Am I right, guys? Back to our Hark days.
Sorry, fellas. Some of that rhetoric might have just gotten into me a little bit. I didn't think I was
disappointed.
I didn't think I was so suggestible. But I mean, all the halflings we've met have been kind of dirty, right? I mean, not all bad dirty. Some of it was just like nature druid dirty, but it was still pretty dirty.
I can attest
talking to the wrong person, Abel.
Yes,
All of you look dirty to me.
The closer you get to Lakeshire, they will.
Oh, fair enough, Jonas. You always do know how to put things in perspective.
What was that, Phil? Near, what were you saying?
I was saying as we get to Lakeshire, it is a halfling town, so they will be more to the normal standard of a city with some respectability amongst its own people, and halflings represent the majority of the folks that live there.
So you're saying we're getting close?
Yes, it seems that way. Tom, I assume is this a place I recognize?
The stream. It might be a stream that you recognize, but But
it might not.
Well, you haven't been. You haven't explored these woods, right? So this looks like one of the streams that come out of Littlefoot Lake that sort of feeds into the mountain springs. But this is not. If you were a halfling and you wanted to go for a swim, this is probably not where you'd go.
Okay. And there's only one set of clothes there, right?
No, that's it. If you go and inspect them, I'll tell you how many people's clothes there are.
Okay.
I'm
how
going to
far
go and inspect
are they off the path we're on?
Yeah, it's up maybe 15, 20 feet toward the mountain, sort of to the east.
I'm going to inspect the pile of clothes and inspect the stream where it appears to go into the mountain.
Okay. Which one are you doing first?
Clothes first. You want a perception check?
Yeah, give me a perception check on the clothes.
18.
Okay, so yeah, they're very, very clean, and they they all smell of rose, and there's another smell in there that you don't quite recognize, but you get the sense that someone was going out for kind of like their Sunday best, and that maybe seems weird to you that they would just leave their clothes on the rocks. And there are 4 women's dresses.
Seems like they came out here to do their Sunday worst, if you know what I mean.
Yes, Abel. We know what you mean. You're sort of owning the dirty old man title there.
I mean, they're smooching each other. Vilnir looked like he didn't know what I meant.
Yeah.
What is
Yes,
a smooch?
you're probably right.
he ain't wise to the ways of the world like I am. Vilnir man can smooch anything. A woman, another man, sometimes even a tree, depending on how
No,
things
Abel, no. We're not going here again. No, not again. Vilnir, does this look strange?
It does not seem entirely strange, but I do think it would be in our best interest to continue on, as Abel suggested before.
I'm gonna look where the stream goes into the mountain.
All right. Give me
That's another perception.
I mean, I'll let you.
That one was a 20.
Okay, I'll let you give a perception check. Things are not as they seem, and when you walk over to where it enters the mountain, you are actually end up standing in like knee high water that it looked like it was the ground. Give me
Careful, guys! It's not what it seems.
give me an investigation check if you want to look closer at your feet and the rocks.
Investigation is not my strong suit.
Okay.
That's a 9.
That's not going to do it, but it is weird because your feet look like they're underground, even though they're wet. But it doesn't look like an illusion. You're just seeing things in your mind. You're not quite sure what's going on.
Wait, it doesn't look like an illusion.
You rolled a 9. You don't understand why your feet are wet and under, but they seem to have sunk into the ground.
Guys, it's all weird over here. The ground's not the ground. I'm not sure what possibly exists in this world that can make something look like something it's not. But something like that seems to be happening over in this section of the woods.
Tom, does
Let's go back on the trail and forget we saw all this.
Tom, does it have any similarity to when the Gnome's Gap changed away, as far as we can tell? Does it look like
give me an investigation check. It looks like something kind of like that, but this is child's play compared to Gnome's Gap.
Okay, so this doesn't look quite as ethereal or okay.
Yeah, and Abel, you don't have any of that divine sense going on about this particular thing.
I feel like I got to shuffle my feet back over to you because I don't want to accidentally step on some halfling ladies smooching each other.
So I got a 5.
Yeah,
So it's not gonna help much.
Fives and
There you go.
Fives and scribes, everybody. Fives and
Gotta get those
scribes.
5s and scribes.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, it's weird. Abel is just being Abel. He's just kind of silly over there. You think maybe he's like walking on his knees on the ground and trying to fool you out a little bit. How about you, Jonas? Do you want to take a closer look, or does it even matter?
Stop messing around over there. Get back over here. He just said Lakeshire's this way. Just come on.
Okay, I shuffle back over towards the trail.
Okay.
Sorry in advance. You lovely halfling ladies. Sorry, I'm afraid I'm gonna step on you.
Jonas, you're not looking.
I'm not looking.
You don't give a shit. Okay.
I'm not even gonna roll.
All right. Okay. So you guys are gonna get back on the path. You're gonna cross over the stream and get back on the path.
We're gonna cross the streams.
Yeah.
Cross the streams. Hey, good.
Cross the stream
cross the
is the
streams.
only way.
Seriously though, you should never cross the streams, guys. All right. You're gonna keep going south.
Tom can't hide the disappointment.
No, listen, it's fine. It's fine. Go fuck yourself. It's
He
not a
spent
big
8
deal.
hours planning this side
Yeah.
quest.
Yeah.
I came up with this whole random encounter, and you're not even gonna roll.
Asshole. It's a DC 10, man. It's a DC 10 boulder.
I'm looking at the fates. I'm looking at the fates, dude. We did 2 rolls and nobody saw shit. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just...
John, do a roll and just roll under 10. Just be like, doesn't
Just
look like
roll,
anything
just roll a
to me.
D10 because that way you win.
Right,
If he
right,
gets a
right.
10 on a D10, he's gonna see it. That's all I have to say. This guy rolls a natural 20. This guy rolls a natural 20.
Wow.
What an asshole.
He sees into the heart of the mysteries.
And then he's just going to pretend he sees nothing and still make us move on, I bet. Watch.
Yeah.
I see the whole thing and I'm like, let's just go.
Keep walking.
Two Lakeshire.
Oh my god. All right. Whatever. It was gonna be awesome.
What does
Keep
he
going
see?
then. Jerks. Do you want to know what he sees? Do you want to know what you see?
Yeah, you know what? Abel comes back and Abel comes back to us and I just kind of start berating him on fooling around in the grass and I just take a look just to see what was going on while I'm berating him. And
Just
what
a
do I say?
just a side glance.
Just a side glance.
Okay.
A natural 20
A
side
natural
glance.
20 side.
A natural 20 side glance. Which
magic
by the
doesn't
way
fool
means
him.
it's a that's right. Which by the way means it's also a 26. Because he has a +6 on his thing. So
Wow.
yeah, so you see it opens up into a little there's a waterfall that's being obscured by an obviously illusioned boulder and stream to make it look like that someone has cast an illusion to make it look like the stream just kind of dies into this boulder. It actually opens up into a little swimming hole, and you see 4 halfling women all sort of sitting on the side of the boulder, and they are on the side of this like little swimming hole, and there is a boat that is in the swimming hole just on the just on their side of the waterfall, and it has it's stacked full of boxes of fruit, and there are 3 goblins on the boat, and you can tell that they're singing a song to these women on the shore, and they're singing along. The women are singing along, but move on.
They're singing along and they're completely
just move on. Yeah,
they're singing along and they're completely naked.
they are naked. Yes, they're naked.
Completely naked, singing to goblins.
He asked if
and
they
fruit.
were naked, and Tom said they were naked. And I think those are 2 slightly different things.
No, that's true. Is it bucket naked?
I think you guys are making fun of how I talk, and that's fine. I also said they were naked, just like John did, and it's fine. But yes, they're sitting on the banks, and they're clearly waiting for landfall of this goblin boat.
Okay. I turn around and I just go, oh,
What is it?
Filnir.
What is it?
What
What do you see? I just
think I saw through the illusion, and there are 4 halfling naked halfling girls over there singing to a boat that is approaching with goblins on it.
Do they? I don't see a problem there. They seem.
Everyone looks happy, but my.
I mean, I'm not saying I see a problem with it either, but the way you said that made it sound a lot more normal than this situation.
I am much more familiar with Lakeshire than you are. They do trade.
Well, explain it to us then.
Do you
please.
trade? Do you trade with goblins? My experience with goblins is not good.
I've heard stories of goblins vending various items to the halflings in exchange for what Lakeshire is reputed for. So perhaps it's just that why they would be disrobed, I cannot say, but perhaps they are not worried about alluring the goblins, as it were.
Maybe they're selling a little something else.
It could be. I would not say that I know everything about Lakeshire. So perhaps we do not entangle ourselves. It would be quite embarrassing for the ladies, I would assume, and it would not be proper.
But there is no way that these ladies are in trouble, and if we save said ladies, could put in a good word for us if we go into the city.
Honestly, as far as I could tell, you are completely bullshitting me because I saw nothing past that stream.
And that does sound like kind of a stretch to get involved with some naked halfling ladies.
Does that tickle your fancy, Jonas? I mean, I'm happy to play wingman for you.
I like my women taller and stouter. Thicker skin.
I take
a little leafier.
With some bark.
I mean, have a little bite.
I will say I have dabbled in all manner of women in the past, but I just want to
Doubtful.
Have you had boreal
shut up, Tree Man.
See,
women
I told you
before?
it was bullshit. He's pulling our leg. Abel, you saw nothing, right? You saw a boulder. You saw a stream. Let's be on our way.
Fellas, do I need to remind us that our lives are in mortal danger at this moment? We are being hotly pursued by a powerful wizard intent on our destruction.
We should carry on.
All right. I just wanted to bring it up.
Yes.
I
Keep
understand
calm
that
with your
sometimes the
fantasies.
things that come out of my mouth are.
Keep calm with your fantasies and carry on.
Yeah, fine. I will go with the will of the group. I'm just telling you what I saw. If it does not seem strange, then we will push on.
You're pushing on. Okay.
Pushing on.
All right. So as you're leaving, all three of you do hear this. All three of you do hear this. You start to hear some music coming from the boulder, I guess, for Filnir and Abel, and from the swimming hole for you, Ionis. You hear very gravelly voices singing, come by, our grapes are fresh from the vine, pomegranates full and fine, dates and sharp bullesses, rare pears and green gages, damsons and bilberries. Taste them and try, currants and gooseberries, bright fire like barberries, figs for your mouth, citrons from the south, sweet to the tongue and sound to the eye, come by, come by.
All right.
Okay.
Woo! Now we know why.
That sounds like one
Now
of
I know
them.
why Tom was so disappointed we were going to
One
keep
of
walking.
them, what do you call them? Innuendos.
All right. Did you believe me now? You hear that, right? You hear that?
Oh, perhaps. Yes, I did. Abel, did you hear that as well?
No, let's keep walking.
Okay.
I mean, we don't need any fruit, do we?
I don't. I mean, we scored well on the with the last character. We did just fine.
I don't imagine.
Listen,
I don't imagine I'll have a
listen,
chance to bake very soon. So.
A bag full of pomegranates is no bag full of diamonds.
Well said, sir. I agree wholeheartedly.
And coming up next on the Dungeon Dads podcast, episodes 14 through 27. In 22 minutes. Okay, so you're going to keep going south, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're getting hungry, and the deer path sort of bifurcates, going a little bit west, a little bit east. You can't tell exactly where they go, but you see that one is going up the mountain and one is sort of staying at the tree line, or staying at the ground level. And Filnir, you're pretty certain that this is Hunter's Ridge, which is a place that a lot of halflings who want to shoot deer will go up on the ridge, and then someone will try to scare out into the meadow, and there's a lookout that allows like very good shots to sort of see from the top of the ridge, from Hunter's Ridge here. You have your bearings very well at this point.
Okay. So I know that the other path would then go.
It continues on.
town.
It's the path that continues to the west at ground level just sort of continues through the forest and starts snaking around the tree line around to the south of Lakeshire.
And the Hunter's Ridge Trail would take us more directly.
No, it takes you up in the mountain a little bit above the tree line on sort of the ridges along the palisade.
Got it. So we would just have a better overview of town.
But you won't be in the trees. Yes, that's right.
Right. Okay. Gentlemen, would you rather have a vantage point on the town and the surroundings, or continue on our way to town? They are unfortunately mutually exclusive choices unless we go up and then come back down.
What is the status of Lakeshire? Which army is in control of the town, or is it independent?
It's independent, but it's sort of like embassy town, and it's in Adaran territory. But there are many many embassies there that have like not so good relations with Adair, and they're ruled by themselves. Like they don't have if they have troops, which they have very few of, they would fight for themselves and be guards, not join the Darren army.
But like Hark soldiers are still probably not welcome. Like there's no Hark embassy.
There's definitely a Monteran embassy there.
Right.
Yes. So they're right. Robert Hark does not have his person there.
Well, I say, if I am from Monterre, why don't we just go straight into the Monteran embassy?
Well, it's an excellent question. Should we go straight to the Monteran embassy? Considering the last communication you had from Monterre said, what was it?
It was from my half-brother. It did say that my father was dead and Reinhold Erlington killed him. I don't know, to be honest. I've been very eager to get back to my family and find out what's going on. I've been thinking about Schnobik a lot lately since I got that letter. He was always one to follow the crowd. He followed me around everywhere I went and really did whatever I said. I admit that I can be a bit much at times. I've been thinking.
No.
Well, I can, Abel. I can.
Jonas, you're too hard on yourself.
No. It's seriously. But I have been thinking lately that I probably did not give him the respect that he deserved growing up. And it seems that he may be in some trouble, may have gotten himself into some trouble even by trying to contact me. I do not know, but I would very much like to get back and find out what is happening. I don't know what that would look like, but perhaps if we are in Lakeshire and I found my way to the embassy to ask questions or to listen in.
That sounds like as good a place to start as any. I actually was just told to go to the city, so who knows?
Well, then let us go. I can lead the way. I would like to see what's become of the Neverwinter Embassy, which was where we lost Edgar, and I was assaulted and shoved into this life and this pact. Would like to see if it's still intact or what has become of it.
Filnir, how are you?
It is hard to come back to where someone that you respected so much was brutally and somewhat senselessly murdered. I don't even understand why. So it is difficult, and I'm sure that people will recognize me. And as we heard, they assumed that it was my doing, which was not at all the case. I would never have harmed that man.
Oh, shit.
Wait. You're the half-elf.
I would assume I am a half-elf, and I worked very closely with Edgar. It was basically the two of us in that building most of the time. And
Did you just say you want to go back to the embassy where people assume you're a murderer?
Because I'm not a murderer. I see why it's a bad idea, but that is...
Like, now that you're saying it out loud,
Yes.
you're sort of starting to see.
Yes,
yeah.
maybe it is a choice that we do not make.
All right. So you
Some things best left in the past, you know what I mean?
Yes, unfortunately.
Like any places where you're wanted for murder.
I do not know for certain that it was me that they suspect, but I can only assume. There are not many half-elves in Lakeshire. It is a halfling town, as I told you before.
Well, then we can assume that they at least want to capture you and ask you questions about that day, correct?
I would think so.
All right, so you want to go to an embassy where they want to capture you, and I want to go to an embassy where they might want to capture me.
No, we are off on completely the wrong feet, aren't we?
I'm beginning. I think I'm going to step back from what I said originally. Why don't we go?
Abel,
and
what should
get
we
a lay
do?
of the- Yes, Mr. Tactician, War Mage, or War Cleric person.
Shall we stroll the streets until something catches our fancy? Maybe a pile of clothes or a gnome planting beans. Wait a second now. Isn't there something in a museum here that I might want?
Yes, indeed. Tempest's Prick is here, in the Waterdeep Museum, in the Waterdeep consulate.
Boys, you know what I like to do when I go sightseeing? I really like to go to the museums, take in the local culture, you know? See what it is they value here in their culture, you know? Get a real feel for what it's like to be in this city and feel what they feel and think how they think. What do you say we go to the Waterdeep Museum? I mean, as far as I know, none of us are wanted for murder there.
I think that is a safe assumption. Yes. Okay, I can guide us there. I would recommend, obviously we travel with our cloaks up.
And just to let you know,
probably a better
just so
plan.
everyone understands, in terms of distance here, you're still about 2 miles if you walk through the meadow straight into the gates of Lakeshire. If you continue along the path south in the tree line, you can get a little closer and have a little bit less of a sort of open walk. And Filnir knows. Filnir knows ways to get into town that are not necessarily just walking through the gate. Also,
Filnir, is there any way you can sort of disguise yourself?
I mean, when I left, I was wearing my work clothes, so I think I don't know that they would recognize the armor on me. I was not dressed for a journey when this all happened. I just picked up and ran.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
Yeah. Otherwise, no, I don't.
All right, keep your hood
I
up.
don't think so.
Keep your hood up,
If
my
we-
friend.
If we walk through the front, I could cast an invisibility spell on you that would last up to an hour.
Yes, but how
That
could
could
I
at least get us
make
to the
sure that?
museum.
How could I make sure
that's-
that you got to the right place?
I think that's overkill. Let's take our armor off. I'm gonna stuff it in this pack. All the different chinks and chains and plates.
So new cover story.
No, same cover. Well, here's the thing. I still think it would probably be weird for a couple of guys to be walking around in full armor in the city,
yes.
especially armor covered in mud.
Yeah. It's a pretty
How's the
fine
weather right
city.
now?
It's sunny. Sunny.
Okay.
I mean, you've been walking all
I mean,
day.
it would be one thing if we had like Monteran Guard livery or something, but
Right.
yeah, our disguise of being super dirty probably won't fly as well in the museum.
Yes.
That's-
I think they will
I
not
do
let
have
you
a-
in the consulate. That way.
We could ditch the armor. I have a bag of diamonds. Like we could maybe buy some new armor.
That's not a bad idea.
All right, let's bury it out here and mark the spot. Just in
This
case
sounds
we
like a
need to come
terrible
back.
idea. Okay.
Okay, you guys gonna dig it down, and you're gonna do it away
Yep.
from the road.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
you guys are at this fork. Are you gonna go one direction or another away? Like, just give me some description here. What you're actually gonna do?
I walk
like the fork will help
exactly
us.
20 paces off the road into the forest to the east.
Okay.
I find the largest nearby tree from the
Okay.
fork in the road. I take another 5 paces north
You better write this down.
and I dig there.
Okay.
You better write it down.
I'm not writing it down.
Because I can say anything and you'll just assume it was the same
Oh, is
thing
that how
I
it
said before.
It's okay.
Yeah,
We're not
right.
You're
recording.
the one who cares about this matching, not me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, is anybody else helping him dig?
I would be no help.
Listen, just
I
a
mean-
shallow grave.
Okay.
You know, I'm not
Okay.
gonna go far on this.
And Philner, are you digging yours in too?
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
so. It leaves me completely unarmored.
Yeah. So as you guys
And
are
then-
digging,
Does the shield have Hark stuff on it too? Or is the shield more just basic?
the shield is very basic. Yeah, your shield is fine. Both of your
I
shields.
mean,
are fine.
mine has a big mark of Tempest, on it,
right.
which is pretty identifying. But
Yeah.
again, for anyone who
But-
doesn't know who I am,
Yeah.
Right.
hopefully it's not too identifying.
Okay.
What about our
so-
spears?
Spears are actually made by the gnomes, but in the mountains, and everyone uses these spears.
Okay.
Yeah, you can rip off the red feather that's on it, and fairly easily.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that'll do it. Okay, so while you guys are digging, Jonas, you hear shuffling on the trail, on the hunter's trail that's going up to the ridge, and you hear sort of. You don't speak Undercommon, do you?
I do not.
Yeah, so it sounds dwarvish, generally dwarvish, but it sounds a little different.
Does it sound like the guy that attacked me?
Yes, it sounds just like the guy that attacked you, and you hear a few of them, and they're about 70 feet up and about 50 feet south of you. So you can't see them, but they're up on this ridge they're coming down toward the fork now.
I start digging up my armor.
Okay.
I knew this was a mistake. I felt bad about doing it as soon as I started doing it. I'm an old man. I'm not very dexterous. I really
How many
need this
minutes into
armor.
digging is this? I
If
feel
I'm
like,
gonna live.
You haven't taken. I mean, if you were digging with your armor on still, then you still have it
We're
on.
okay. Gentlemen, we may be having company soon.
Like the good kind.
There's a barn in your share.
It sounds like the bad kind. It sounds like a language. It sounds similar to a language that I've heard before. I don't know why it would be here now, but I can't understand it. But it sounds similar to some gray dwarves I ran into before.
Well, let's get off the road and let them pass.
Is there anywhere to hide, Tom?
I mean, you can go over to the tree where they are. I guess I don't know. I mean, there's trees all over the place.
Yeah, let's just get off the road and hide behind a tree.
yep.
Okay. So give me stealth checks.
1.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Not a natural 1. A 2. -1.
All right.
Okay.
Mine's
I think our
natural
cover's blown
20.
regardless.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
What a waste of a
I
crit.
got a-
Yeah.
I got a 14 with disadvantage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Abel, you need to roll again because you need to roll at a disadvantage.
Wait, because
Just in case you roll a natural.
you still have
my
your armor on. Yeah.
Okay, no, that one was a 9.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So they're getting a little bit closer to you guys, coming down this ridge, and you hear.
Do I know I have hidden badly? Because if so, I'm just going to sort of cross my legs and try to look nonchalant. You know?
Sure, you can.
Question.
Give them a little, half salute as they walk by.
So they're still, you're 20 feet off the path, 20 paces, excuse me. So let's call it 10 feet off the path.
Wait a second.
No, I listened. No, you said 20 paces off
Which
the path.
would be more like 40, 50 feet.
Yeah.
Oh,
a pace
your
is
step
longer
not
than
Oh,
6
okay.
inches.
Okay.
Your foot is a foot.
Okay. So you took 40 feet away from the thing. So, So you give the guy a little heads up, and you see that there are actually 4 Durgers, and they're being led by a spindly looking little drow, and the Durgers are carrying two each are carrying a pole with a fishnet looking thing that's full of dead goblins and halflings, men, not women. Don't worry. Don't worry. It wasn't that same group. Men. It's halfling men. It's kind of a bloody mess in there. It looks very freshly killed, and the drow. No one speaks Undercommon here, right?
Negative.
No. Okay.
Nope.
So the drow sort of sees you, Abel, and he has this moment where he's like clearly questioning whether or not like.
I'm looking. Do I have a pipe? Yeah, I have a pipe. Can I just? I'll smoke my pipe.
Okay. Yeah, he's got this moment where he's like, you can tell he's having a moment with you. He's like, maybe we can just keep walking. And one of the Durgers in the front drops his bag and he pulls out his javelin, and we're now in initiative, and that's the end of this episode, fellas.
Oh, come on. Yeah. You just said initiative. How are you going to stop it at initiative? That's the worst. Come on.
but
Yeah. I have to say, Goblin Market, you were going there. I mean, based on a Victorian poem. I mean, I just wanted to do more of the poem.
Tom, you have set a new bar for the timeliness of our references. Boy, I thought I was really digging deep with the Wiz.
No, man.
You beat me by a century.
I mean,
Century and a half.
it's Christina Rossetti. It's like her best poem, guys. Yeah, it's so good. I mean, I recommend everyone who's listening to this podcast, you should totally not read this to your children, but you should definitely read this poem. If you have any thoughts that like the Victorian poetry was tame or lame or not sexual at all, just read The Goblin Market. Just read it. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a good draw for Men on the Run.
Yeah. Sorry.
Pomegranates weren't going to reel us in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I thought
a little paranoid the first time with the gnome that's calling out our names and reading our thoughts, but
listen, after this conversation, I feel confident The Goblin Market is coming back.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm already working on like the Waterdavian consul is going to give you a mission or some shit to like go do something at the Goblin Market. I don't know what. I'm going to work on it.
Listen, I don't mind as long as it's sexy.
It's going to be real sexy. You're going to have fresh juice all over your face. That's how sexy it's going to be from the fruits.
Guys, we're losing subscribers
That's just
right
what
now.
people come.
Yeah.
This
is getting like negative subscribes and ones. Ones and duns.
Oh my God, Ryan, 1986. Don't unsubscribe, buddy. Don't unsubscribe. Don't do it. Don't confirm.
Like, listen, I came for the D&D, but at the end it was just too much Victorian sexual imagery.
Oh man. Okay.
that's rough.
Well, you guys ignored 3 episodes worth of encounters from me, and I'm going to do the sign off here today, and I'm not doing it to our listeners. I'm just doing it to the 3 of you. And go fuck yourself. All right, come on back next time. They did not level up. Come on back for episode 9.